Hey guys, welcome back to. Oh, sorry. Dracula love story. I'm sorry. The baby just kicked me so hard. I'm sorry. That threw me the fuck off. I'm sorry. Okay, we're back with Dracula love story. We're doing season 2, episode 1. I was told that there's only one episode and that we don't have to go to the past. So now I'm super eager to play and figure out if current Lil decides to get her head out of her butt, because I prefer past Lil as well. Yeah, because she on some other stuff right now. Says the night is over, but the consequences are still here. Consequences. Whoa! Okay. Is this a season where she dies in the past? I like this. This is interesting. Ooh. Huh. All right. Back in. Chapter 1. Sky Plane Girl. Plane? What plane? Oh, they're on vacation, aren't they? Aren't they supposed to be leaving at some point? I can't remember what they were doing here. They don't live here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were staying in a hotel. Are they trying to say that she's leaving? Let's just play. Darkness, some movement. Something shook me and my confused brain finally started coming into focus. Oh, that's right, she passed the hell out like an idiot. Opened my eyes and saw the sunken wall above the castle. There was nothing by its footing. It was a dark spot in the grass where the bodies of the imps used to lie. Could it all have been a dream? A new shake made me look away from the wall, and I saw Leo in front of me. Oh. He looks, like he'd have been drugged through the races. A big clawed hand carefully lowered him from the shoulder to the ground. Suddenly, I realized the other hand was holding me, and I looked up in confusion. To me, he looked so cool. No. It all was real? I wanted to sink back into nothingness, to rewind from this reality I didn't ask for. The thought of the monster touching me made me shiver uncontrollably from fear and disgust. You disgust me! Like, seriously? Spacing bitch. The monster noticed it. His hand let me go immediately. He should have dropped her ass on the ground. A very familiar gaze flickered on that unfamiliar, ugly face. Only face I'm tired of looking at is hers. There was so much. I am so, like, unbelievably mad. And let me explain. Because someone didn't get it. They said that wouldn't you be afraid of, in the same situation? Of course, I would be afraid. My problem is the double standard. How are you going to sit there and say, Noah has murdered a bunch of people, orchestrated this whole thing, almost killed all of y'all, mind controlled your sister, all kind of bullshit, but somehow you can see that all that came from a good place. But somehow, you can't tell yourself, you can't convince yourself, that's what she said, that this was her saying Vlad. All she sees is a fucking monster. Bitch, how? And way to prove Noe right. Because the whole time he said that all these girls care about is a pretty face and some money. And like, as soon as his face don't match inside of her shallow ass brain, then she got a problem. And she up and running. That's my problem with current Lil. Like, where is the gumption, the just like the awesomeness of the past Lil, dude? Because past Lil got her shit together, dude. This girl, that's my problem. That's my problem. Be, like, sure, be afraid, but, like, be fair. Like, really? Like, how are you gonna be chill about Noah's whole situation? There was so much in that gaze. Guilt and shame, tenderness and longing, the desire to come close with the fear to scare me even more. For a moment, everything in me reached for him irresistibly. Vlad's here. He's locked inside this monster. They're the same person, sweetheart. You can't try to... But the next thought made me recoil. Or has this monster been inside him all along? Well, duh. That's the point. And he's still the same person. Either way. I'ma stop. I'm just gonna read. The emotions were tearing me apart, my sympathy and affection for the Vlad I knew, and fear. The monster, impossible in my world, yet real, was terrifying me. At that moment, the sun began to rise above the castle. Its first rays spilled over the wall toward us, shining brighter on our faces, mine and the monster's. You really gonna keep calling him that? A sharp move as if from a hit, and a deep groan. The monster covered his head with his hands, bowed down, thrashed around, trying to hide from the incoming light. One quick hesitating glance at me, then at Leo, and he rushed to the castle, hiding behind its massive, impenetrable walls. For a moment I froze, looking at the door. But then I recollected myself, leaned toward Leo, and shook his shoulder. Leo, please, open your eyes. Let me know you're fine. But he was lying motionless. Only the morning wind was playing with the golden lock on his forehead. Oh, poor baby. Nosferatu appeared from the bushes, all dirty, shabby, covered in some brambles. He smelled the master carefully, nudged him with his nose, meowing callingly. When he realized Leo wasn't responding, the cat climbed onto his chest and cuddled into a sad ball there. Oh my gosh. Poor thing. Melody, you're fine. Sandra rushed at me, clenching me in her hug. Millie immediately joined in. I'm so glad you're back. We were so worried. What's up with Leo? Oh my god, is he alive? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He already told you that he's alive, dumb bitch. Stop. Stop! Sandra sank onto her knees, examining him. Oh, at least he's breathing. Like, you didn't even check to see if he's breathing? I don't know if he's still alive. And his pulse is fine. What's this? Her fingers touched two small wounds on his neck, already covered in crimson crust. A vampire? Was he attacked by a vampire? My sister's eyes widened and I hesitated. Should I tell them how it went and who Vlad really is? No, I don't want to scare the girls. I won't reveal Vlad's secret. Leo's the only one who matters now. Let's go. I won't reveal his secret. I kind of feel like that's up to him if he wants to let them know. I mean, Leo can tell them, of course, if he wants to. But since either way, none of this leads to me saying anything, then I'd rather be on Vlad's side, because she's not. I don't have a right to tell, and I don't want to. Whatever my opinion of him was at the moment, it was important for me somehow to keep Vlad's good image in the girls' eyes. He's a welcoming host and attentive friend for them. Let it stay that way. And he didn't do anything wrong. Let's not forget the most important part here. He didn't do anything wrong. He was forced into a horrible situation, and his friend offered. He didn't just bite Leo out of fucking nowhere. Leo offered his blood, just like you did. Okay? And he saved everyone's asses. Let's not forget that. But that's not going through her head right now. Because she's stupid. I felt bitter because nothing would ever be the same for me anymore. She is so selfish. Like, I want to stay quiet, but the amount of selfishness coming from her right now. Vlad is having the worst fucking day of his entire life. Not entire life. One of the worst days of his life right now, okay? Everything he wanted is then slipped away by someone he thought was on his side. He considered a friend. You know what I mean? And like, none of that is even in her head right now. She don't give a shit. Because, oh my god, the guy that I liked, he's not who I thought he was, but even though he still really is. And oh my god, this and that, and boo-hoo me. I'm like, shut up. I swear to God. Get the hell out of here. Such irony. Yesterday I really wanted to know the truth, but today I'm willing to sacrifice anything as long as I can forget what I learned. I sighed heavily, finding a lump in my throat and said a very well-old phrase. Yeah, he and Vlad were fighting the imps. Unfortunately, Leo got hurt. And to take him to the hospital, I wouldn't. Alinka, whom I'd already forgotten about, walked up to us. Why? Doctors don't treat stuff like this. Let's go home. I can make a brew from Grandma's books. Are you sure? A brew instead of a hospital? But we're talking about a man's life here. I only say what I know. It's up to you. Sandra, until recently I think like you, but remember everything that has happened yesterday. Alinka always knows what to do. I'd follow her advice. A vampire bit Leo. It's not just a wound, it takes special treatment. What if he also turns? Turns? Felt everything inside me going cold. Sandra went pale too. Fine, let's go to our home. Faster, please. Suddenly I knew I wanted to leave the castle as soon as possible, and not just for the sake of helping Leo. Yeah, because you run at the first sign of trouble every time. That's all she's done. But how are we going to take Leo to the car? He's heavy. Where's Vlad? He's going with us, right? Her question caught me by surprise, but then we saw Valentine walking briskly towards us. Good morning, miss. Master Vlad says sorry he is not well today, but I help you everywhere. Just say. And he's still looking out. Looked around the room I used to call mine for the last time. Think I've taken everything. While Valentine was helping Sandra to prepare everything for our departure, I hurried to pack, and I ordered my sister to do the same because I knew for sure we wouldn't be back to this castle anymore. So now I was looking at the hurriedly packed suitcase, the symbol of my cowardly escape. Yes, I've chickened out, and I want to leave. So what? Who wouldn't be scared? I'm not saying don't be scared. Once again, be fair. You're treating him like some kind of fucking criminal. Like, that's what I'm mad about. I looked at the painting cases, the 6 paintings that started the whole story. Should I take them? They're mine. Besides, I promised to restore them. I need to take them. But suddenly I decided I should leave them. The relationship with Vlad is good enough. Vlad said he treasured them. Now I had my guess about the reason, and I knew my escape would hurt him. So I wanted to at least leave the paintings behind as probably the last connection to his past besides me. The decision was spontaneous, but I didn't think about it for another second. I took the suitcase by the handle and left the room. From the farther side of the hallway there came voices. One of them made me catch my breath. Tarog. As the men heard the sound of me closing the door, they fell silent. Vlad said something to Valentine and quickly walked down the hallway without looking at me, and the butler approached me. Everyone cannot fit into Miss Sandra's car. Master Vlad gave me his car. I can take you after 10 minutes. It seemed to me he put an emphasis on the 10 minutes part. 10 minutes? Knowing the Vlad now and the Vlad that I once knew, it was incredibly hard for me to just leave. It's wrong to run away from him like from a leper without talking to him. I guess I should say goodbye. And you fucking will. The least you can do is go say fucking goodbye, bitch. I hurried to follow the sound of his footsteps. Valentine's voice rang after me. Honestly, Vlad deserves better. Don't worry, miss. I take your carriage and put it in the car. I could guess where Vlad headed, and I was right. He was facing the stained glass again, but this time the room was filled with deafening silence. The clock had stopped. The clock hands were frozen against his giant face, as if chained magically, judging from the time it happened recently. You shouldn't have come. Cassano said it without turning towards me. His voice was like ice ringing through emptiness. The ice burned me, making my heart ache with helplessness and longing. He's right. Why did I come? What can I say to make it better for me or him? I felt like running away, but my feet seemed to be glued to the floor, and my eyes were fixed on Vlad's back. It seemed an impenetrable wall at the moment. I was looking at his back, and emotions came flooding. A lot of different emotions, but I guess anger was the strongest. Anger at myself at the fact that he managed to take up such a big place in my heart over just a few days. He took root in it, and nothing probably could undo it, not without us dying in the process. He made me feel so vulnerable yet happy next to him. He felt like home, but that didn't last long. I got attached to a human, but there's a strange dark creature inside him, a monster. I cannot stay here knowing that. I need to leave and live with all the things he's awoken in me, but I have no idea how. Vlad turned around. He caught my eyes and took a step towards me. I watched his tense forehead, his body stretched bar tight, taut. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you, but goodbyes don't help. They only make it worse, yeah. I didn't expect it, but I finished his phrase in a shaky, quiet voice. A flame appeared in his eyes, but his tone didn't change. Yes, that's right. But if one pretends to be dead for long enough, one can actually become dead. His voice remained icy and almost emotionless, but I could feel the whirlwind under his skin. Vlad. I looked into his eyes, trying to push through dozens of his walls and shields. At some point I managed to, and our eyes connected in silent dialogue. I was asking for his forgiveness for the fact that I couldn't stay, and his lips were still closed and the chamber was filled with silence, but I could swear I heard his words. You're the only sense and light I have. There'll be just darkness without you. I trembled, suddenly realizing how a person who had remained alone with his darkness over 5 centuries could feel. For a moment he saw a glimpse of light, and now he was losing it again. I knew the 10 minutes Valentine warned me about were up already and that I had to go, but my heart was tearing apart at the thought I'd be leaving Vlad alone with his despair. It's time, Melody. But I couldn't move. Tears streamed down my cheeks. Several locks of my hair falling onto my face got immediately wet and stuck to my skin unpleasantly, and I couldn't even raise my numb hands to remove them. For several moments, Vlad was watching me with painful tension. Suddenly, he moved forward, put his hands around my waist, and pressed me against the cold stone wall with his body. Oh. In a savage impulse, he covered my lips with his. He stole my breath with a burning kiss, making my heart sink. Vlad caressed my face, wiping my tears away, and tangling his fingers in my damp hair. I felt I was sinking and gasping for air in this insane, wild tenderness. Another moment and I would be gone completely. No, please, don't. I gathered all my moral strength and pushed him away. And I rushed to the door with my heart pounding like crazy in my chest. I was afraid of looking back more than anything. The massive black car almost went over the steep hill, but at the top it suddenly cut out and stopped. Valentine mumbled guiltily. Sorry, I don't drive well. I do not know this car. Millie, who was sitting next to him, petted the scared cat on her lap. Don't worry, sweetie. We'll get there soon. Don't be sad. Your master will be fine. Leonard at the back seat. I was holding his head carefully on my shoulder. For the 100th time, I felt a pulsing vein on his neck. I calmed down for several minutes, knowing his heart was still beating. While Valentine was starting the car again, I turned to look at the castle for the last time. There was some unusual liveliness about its tower in the sky. The birds are back. The castle seemed even more grim on the contrast with their joyful flying. It looked like a stone giant submerged into numbness for ages, as if all that joy in life had nothing to do with it. It's been a week ever since I saw them, but it feels like a lifetime. My mind was full of questions again, and out of nowhere I felt sorry for leaving the paintings behind. I'll probably never learn what happened without them, why the owner of this place was consumed by darkness. The quiet whirring of the engine stopped my train of thought. The car went over the slope and picked up speed, catching up with Sandra's pickup. The castle disappeared from view. The coal village greeted us with peaceful, clear sky. The animals were busy bustling about, and the neighbors were wishing good mornings to one another. And they have no idea about the danger they were all facing yesterday. It was a nice sunny morning, but the one who saved them has only darkness ahead of him. We stopped by the girls' house. It took a lot of time to carry our possessions and tend to the wounded. Lastly, Valentine got my suitcase out of the trunk and carried it into the house. Goodbye, miss. Goodbye. Thank you for everything. Headed to the car, I couldn't help but call out to him. Valentine, please be there for your master. Take care of him. There was a hint of a smile on his upset face. Sure, miss. I will. Alinka and Sandra went to the kitchen right away to prepare everything necessary for the brew. We put Leo upstairs in the room under the roof. I took the neighboring room to be close to him. Millie stayed with him, and I decided to take a shower and clean up. It was necessary after all the horrific events of the night. I stepped out of the shower and opened my suitcase to take the clothes. That's when I froze in surprise. There were 6 cases with the paintings laying tidily on top of my stuff. A piece of paper folded in half stuck out, and folded it. Just 2 lines written in beautiful, even letters with old-fashioned flourishes. The smell of ink, good paper, and Vlad. Melody, it's up to you what to do with the paintings now. They're yours anyway. They have always been yours. He knew I wasn't coming back, that I would leave the paintings. That's why he ordered Valentine to put them in my luggage. Vlad is used to taking charge, whatever I feel about him personally. This treatment is very appealing. He knew how much I was treating the canvases, so he just did what he would best for me. I see his care and responsibility in it, and I'm so glad the paintings are back with me. I need to get dressed after all. That's pretty. I really like this dress. And set my hair. Tall ponytail. Braids. Loose and wavy. Straight chestnut. I need more gyms. Okay, we'll go for tall ponytail for now. Even though I kind of like the other hair that we just had with it. With the gold accents in the hair. Went well with the dress. Much better. Now let's see how the brew is going. I do like the hair though. It looked like most of the grandma's underground room was now on the kitchen table. It was filled with vials and bundles of various herbs. A small pot was steaming at the furnace. Sandra was mixing its contents from time to time. Alinka was sitting on the sofa, peeling some roots over a deep dish. Her hands were covered in the sticky orange juice. How's it going? It's a complex recipe, but we'll be done by every evening. She brushed off her hair with her wrist and looked at me. Thank you for the spindle, Melody. That was very clever and brave of you. I just was lucky I had it and you told us about its properties. Oh, I'm afraid to imagine what that ghoul would have done to us if it wasn't for you. I went trying to chase the heavy memories away. I didn't feel like talking about the previous day at all. Sandra pointed at the pot. What's the next ingredient? Time, but only the one collected at the Black Moon. Sandra walked to the table and went over the herb bundles. There's a lot of it looking the same. Why couldn't you or Gran have written some labels? A witch doesn't need it. She can always listen to the herb. Carry them here. Sandra put the herbs with spicy fragrance on a wooden plank and carried it to her sister. Linka raised her hand and moved it above the grass, to the right, to the left, and again. She frowned. It's odd. I can't hear it. Can't hear what? Didn't she just say she would listen to the herbs? I used to always hear it, but not now. Didn't you say yesterday you used up all your energy up? I guess it hasn't restored yet. Linka bit her lip pensively. Yes, I guess. Then try it randomly. As soon as you add the one we need, the brew will start filming. Sandra carried the plank to the pot and I followed her. Oh goodness. Am I gonna have to do this? Wanna try it? Of course. Is that bravery? Yeah, okay. I picked the stimlet in one of the bundles and dipped its end in the pot, but nothing happened. Several other attempts were also futile. Okay, now you try it, Sandra. She reached for one of the bundles in the center of the plank, but suddenly her fingers froze mid-air as if they were feeling for something. Then they slid to the right, grabbing another stimlet from the edge. Ooh. Is she getting witchy powers? I think it's this one. Sandra lowered the stem she picked into the pot, and the brew immediately foamed up. Foam! You guessed it, Sandra, right away. Linka gave her sister an attentive and somewhat surprised gaze. Yes, good job. Now Verbena. Maybe they can do witchy stuff together. I just hope Alinka's not losing her powers. The brewing indeed took until late at night. I spent almost the whole day by Leo's side. He seemed to be sleeping deeply and anxiously. He kept tossing and turning, shivering, but he wouldn't come to his senses. Sometimes Millie would fill in for me and I would go to the kitchen to see how the girls were doing. Finally, a proud Sandra showed me the pitcher filled with a dark, steaming drink. It's ready. I looked inside with hope and hesitation. So Leo will drink it now and wake up? The brew cannot help so fast. Like, why would you think so? Like, what the fuck you think this is? Snap your fingers and everything's perfect for you? First, I gotta stop. I swear I'm gonna be a snarky bitch this whole time. The first improvement will happen only after a couple of intakes. It takes like 3 days to recover completely. Until then, one should stay in bed. Oh yeah, sometimes the brew has side effects like visions or nightmares. Some really old memories and fears can resurface, so you need to be by Leo's side. Of course I will. I headed to the exit but then stopped. I think Millie said a vampire bite can turn a person. Is that true? The brew won't let that happen. Don't worry. It was well on at night. After several portions of the brew, Leo was sleeping peacefully in his bed, and I was asleep next to him on a sofa. A sudden rumble woke me up. No, get away from her. Leo was thrashing around in his bed. His hand was clenched as if he was holding a sword, attacking someone. He knocked over some stuff from a bedside cabinet, and now they were lying on the floor. Oh, Leo, hush, it's a dream. I can't. I must keep her safe. Homeland? She is my homeland. For several more minutes, he was mumbling something incomprehensible, and then he jerked, sitting upright in his bed. His eyes were wide open, full of alarm and pain, and looking directly at me, but he didn't see me. He grabbed my hand. Please, swallow. Don't. Don't chase the sun. You'll die. Chase the sun? Looked at me with pleading and despair, clenching my wrist harder. I'm here, Leo. I'm not going anywhere. His eyes closed, his body went limp, and then he sank into the pillows. My hand remained clenched in his. It wasn't comfortable to sit like that. tired. I want to sleep waiting for a bit and then get going. Sitting here as long as it takes. It makes Leo feel calmer. But half an hour later, it was time to drink the brew again. Tried to rest my hand free gently, but suddenly Leo opened his eyes. That time they were clear. Melody? Where am I? Looked around the room and tried to sit up. It didn't come easy for him. I helped him and raised the pillows under his back. We're at Sandra's, healing you with the brew. Unable to contain my joy, I gave him a hug. So glad you're awake. How are you feeling? As if it's my birthday. My 120th. I smiled mirthlessly. You were screaming in your dream. I guess you saw a nightmare. He paused to think, trying to remember. A shadow crossed his face. Yes, there was a girl in danger, and it was you. But not like you are now, as if it was happening at some other time, very long ago. What danger? You were saying something about a swallow in the sun? No, I can't remember. But I was a warrior in some ancient Oriental country. I couldn't suppress a yelp. The Ottoman Empire? Yeah. Looked at me with surprise and amusement. It was like that thing you told me about the paintings in the past. Very similar to it. Tell me, Melody, has it happened again? The visions like that? Yes, many times. I had so many doubts about it up inside, I couldn't keep them in anymore. Though each time I restore the paintings, I see the past as if it's real, as if I'm that girl, Lel. And she has two best friends, Aslan, who looks like you. I've told you about him, and Vlad. Vlad? Like ours? Yes, but it seems that he's not like, he is Vlad. I told Leo everything I saw in the past and learned from Noah at night by the cliff. While I was talking, my own thoughts finally started fitting together like pieces of a puzzle. Do you get it? Vlad's a vampire. His name is Dracula. Vampires live for a very long time. So apparently he's the Valahia prince who was imprisoned by the Ottomans, who pledged allegiance to the dark powers and stayed alive. He was laying in the tomb for almost 600 years and arose only now, after he saw a girl who looked so much like his friend on the phone screen of his fellow victim. Yes, he didn't die, but you and I are normal humans. How come we're the same as Aslan and Aslan and Lel? And how can we see their lives through the paintings and dreams? Well, there's this theory about reincarnation. Oh, it doesn't even look that strange compared to all the surrounding madness. I still can't believe we're really talking about vampires, imps, and portals to the past. Seriously. Yeah. Leo's forehead frowned in thought. So 3 friends from the Ottoman Empire reunited after 6 centuries. It's so strange we ended up here, too. All this time we've been living in the same city and we never met, and suddenly at the other end of the world in the same hotel. That's what worries me. Our reunion, the 3 of us, doesn't look accidental. Looks more like someone's well-thought-out plan. So the question is who, and why the need to reunite us? We didn't know the answer. I looked at the time and gasped. You need to take your medicine, and then sleep and gain strength. It's not too close. Leo protested jokingly, but did as I asked. We spent the rest of the night sleeping peacefully, him on the bed and me on the sofa nearby. Yeah, no funny business. She may be acting silly, but I'm all in it for Vlad. I woke up when it was almost 11. I do want to replay and do Leo's storyline as well. Maybe even Sandra's storyline too. I woke up when it was almost 11. Leo was still sleeping. I slipped out of the room quietly so as not to wake him up. I cleaned up in my room quickly and got downstairs. The house was empty. There was breakfast in the kitchen along with a note that Sandra, Millie, and Elinka went to the town. Put some food into my plate and went to have breakfast outside. The fresh air in the sunny village yard gave me peace of mind and calm. Even though the unpleasant thoughts of the latest events were still going through my head, I could easily chase them away. I was trying especially hard not to think about Vlad. It was so painful I just couldn't let myself process my own thoughts. Some rustling came from behind my back. I turned around, frightened. A very strange-looking guy was standing by the fence, looking at me attentively and oddly. Uh, do you need anything? Good morning. Which one of these do you think is bravery? I'm trying to build up more bravery, but I don't know. I don't know how. Crab cakes. Do you need anything? Woo! Nice. I returned his questioning stare to him. If you're here to see the owners, they're not home. He hesitated for several moments as if studying me, and then leaned forward and hissed threateningly. It's you. He came for you. I flinched. Who came? The mysterious stranger. The guy grabbed a branch and drew something on the ground in a sweeping manner. Number 44? The fuck? Okay, so memories that we haven't uncovered yet. There was still that grave that we met Noe by, and the name was kind of blocked out a little bit. Y'all remember that? And now this crap. What? What does that mean? He laughed nervously, then he shivered strangely as if he was convulsing and started breathing heavily. He's having some attack. I heard voices behind the fence, the gate opened, and the girls walked in. The stranger staggered back and pressed his back against the fence, sniffing loudly. Oh, Gabby, what's the matter? Sandra lowered the bags on the grounds and hurried towards him. Are you okay? You're so pale. Breathe, we don't need an attack now. She gave him a calming pat on his shoulder. The guy inhaled obediently. Millie was staring at them dazedly. I saw him. Back when me and Leo came here for the first time, his head was bandaged. Oh, I didn't remember that. Let's get inside. We need to give him some water before he feels worse. How about y'all go and hang out in there? I think I'm gonna stay outside until he leave, cause we'll head into the house. He ain't right. Sandra made Gabby sit on a chair and poured him some water. He drank it and calmed down a bit. Excuse me, can you introduce us? Yes, sure. These are Melody and Millie, our friends, and this is Gabby, our neighbor. Gabby's a bit special, but he's a very good fellow. He's also our friend. Special, like magically? Sandra smiled. No, health issues. Sees the world differently. Gabby doesn't understand some things that are normal for us, but sometimes he sees and feels something we can't. Oh, right. His mom says he sees spirits. Gabby speaks English decently. Yes, he was treated abroad for some time and he learned the language. He's really smart. Why did he feel ill now? Usually it happens when he's scared. Melody, did you see what scared him? I told them about our encounter and Linka became concerned. Is it true, Gabby? You were speaking about that stranger? He nodded vigorously. Yes. Linka, what do you mean? Do you remember the stranger who came to visit me, asking about Grandma and then talked to her dad? Yeah, Gabby was nearby the whole time. He saw him too, and reacted strangely. Got interested, stared at them. And when the stranger and dad left, he followed them. So Gabby might know something, and he might remember how the man looked. I asked him about it, but he kept silent. But maybe something has changed? Sandra sat down next to him and took his hands. Gabby, what did you see? Where did the stranger and Mihai go? To the meal. They were talking, and then they went to the cold forest, and I followed. Suddenly he started blinking frightenedly, then closed his head with his arms and moaned. He's evil, very black. He hit me. I fell. Are we talking about the guy in the cloak? I assumed it was Noe. I mean, it still could be, because I think Noe kind of hinted at the fact that the image he gave, he could also give himself an image. So what we were been looking at, might not be the real him. Actually, it's most likely not. Hit you. How? With his eyes, right in my head. Boom. Gabby waved his hand, demonstrating something flying into his forehead. Do you remember how he looked? His face? Maybe his clothes? Anything else? He said at one point his eyes seemingly went numb. He's got a scary face. He's really, really old. He's number 44. Wait. What number? He is number 44. And he also has a black dog. Black dog. Okay, so hold on. This mysterious stranger. Because now we have to wonder about what Leo was talking about somebody pulling the strings to get us all back together again for some reason. Black dog. A dog? Are you sure? I haven't seen any dog next to him. The dog is always with him. He fell silent. The silence lingered. I approached Gabby cautiously. Gabby, what about me? Why did you say the stranger has come for me? You didn't even know me back then, right? I saw. What did you see? That he came for her. We tried to query him for some more time, but it didn't work. Soon Gabby said he wanted to go home, and Sandra went to walk with him. I got upstairs to Leo's room. It turned out he wasn't asleep anymore. Hey, how are you doing? Better. Thanks for taking care of me. We heard footsteps. It was Millie carrying Nosferatu in a bag. I brought some outfits for Nosferatu. He was so sad I wanted to do something nice for him. Oh, that was sweet. Good idea. Besides, his old clothes is quite worn out by already. So which one are we choosing? Melody, what do you think? Alright. Something stylish. He looks all hip. Cute. Or simple. No. He has to have the best. We spending all the gems on Nosferatu. Oh, that feeling when your cat is just better than you. Thank you, girls. Your relationship with the cat has improved. Yes, this is very important. Those cats came in clutch last time, I'm telling you. And what about Jade? We're just gonna leave her behind? Like, is it possible for us to remove her from the castle, though? Lou, you must be hungry. Why don't we get you some breakfast? Why is nobody thinking about Jade? Why don't we get you some breakfast? Oh, I'd love to. My sister eyed him suspiciously. What would you like? Maybe some meat? With blood? Millie, there's no... Hold on. Where are you going with that? She batted her eyelashes innocently. What? A vampire bit him. We must be cautious. Leo roared with laughter. I guess you already have a stake for me in case I show any symptoms. Why? I think you'll be a very beautiful vampire, not like those forest ones. Jesus. Oh, can you imagine if that turned out to be true? She jumped up and gave me a firm hug suddenly. I talked to a mage. I saw the Carpathian evil spirits, and I might have a vampire friend. The best vacation ever. I love you, sis. Who else at this moment is wishing Millie was the main character? We would have had all the facts already. While Leah was having breakfast, I returned to my room and think about next steps. Now 4 more days until the end of our vacation. I've got the return tickets, but I think about everything that has happened. I feel like escaping home on the first flight available. However, there are friends here. Leo, who's still not healthy. Sandra, whose father has just died. And even more important, my sister, who's really enjoying the trip I planned just for her. On the other hand, what if Vlad seeks to meet me? Or Noe shows up again? Riddled with tense thoughts, I decided to call the airline and ask them for ticket replacement. The operator told me there was no vacancies for the soonest flights. However, she promised me to look some more after my urgent solicitations and call me back if anything shows up. I glanced at the suitcase that was still unpacked since the previous day. Oh well, since we're not going anywhere yet, I need to unpack. Did you even ask Sandra if you could stay here? So I went through my clothes. I felt something hard in one of the pockets. It was a gemstone. One I picked by the cliff back at that disastrous night. It'd been over a day, yet it still was pretty hot. So odd, and to show it to the others. Picked the gemstone up, went to Leo, and found Millie and Linka there as well. Oh, Melody, I was just asking. Why did we leave the castle? The imps were driven away. It's safe there now. Because we need to make the brew and everything necessary was here. Then why don't Vlad come to us? Let's call him. I want to ask him about so many things. Melody, what's that in your hands? I cast a thankful glance at Leo and showed them the gemstone. My friends were impressed. It's so beautiful. Look how many tones. Can you feel how hot it is? Finally, the gemstone ended up in Leo's hands. Feels so good. It's hot indeed. Wonder what kind of mineral it is. How did you get it? I found it in the forest. I liked it, so I picked it up. Leo kept playing with the gemstone and Millie blinked in disbelief, staring at his neck. Look, can you see it? Leo's wounds, two deep punctures covered in dark red crust, started fading away quickly. We stood in awe, watching the skin smooth out and heal. The wounds were disappearing. Soon there wasn't a trace left. Holy. Oh. An astonished Leo touched his neck. He shrugged and suddenly got from the bed in one swift motion. Have you recovered? As if nothing had happened. I feel great. Looked at the gemstone in his hand with perplexity. Hold on, I remember. I've read about hot gemstones like this in the book about the evil spirits. It's believed an ancient dragon hidden under these mountains can spew them, and they can heal even the deepest wounds. Melody, you found a magical gemstone. Oh, awesome. I want to show it to Alinka. She must have heard of them. Sandra took the gemstone from Leo, ran out of the room, burning with anticipation. We wanted to follow her, but my phone rang. It's Mom. What? Y'all have parents? Whose? Ours, Millie. I was about to say, wait, they have different moms? Hi, Mom. Hey, how are you doing? How's the vacation going? Her voice seemed strange and tense to me. Is anything wrong? Nothing. I just want to know how you girls are doing. That's suspicious as hell. We're doing great. What about you? Started telling me about some minor events. She kept losing the track of thought, falling silent mid-phrase as if she was thinking about something else. Millie whispered. She usually never calls us when we're on vacation. It's her rule not to bother her children when they're having fun. We're the ones to call or text her. Mom interrupted herself again and asked, by the way, haven't you thought of coming back earlier? You've had enough rest already. It was totally unlike her. I got really scared. Mom, what happened? No, nothing. Sorry for bothering you. Have fun. The call ended. Perplexed, I clenched the phone in my hand. What's troubling you? Everything. Everything was weird about that call. She's disturbed by something, but she wouldn't tell me, and that's scaring me even more. Call her again. I nodded and dialed Mom's number. 510 ringtones. There was no answer. Oh. The door opened. Sandra walked in, followed by Alinka. Melody, where'd you get the Balar gemstone? They haven't been around for hundreds of years. Didn't have the chance to answer. My phone rang again. There you go. She's calling you back. It's not her. An unknown number. Hello? Miss Melody Burnell? You submitted a request for a ticket change. I did? There were several vacant spots. If you can make it to the airport in 2 hours. My heart pounded in my chest, looked at my friends. Yes, we can. We'll be in the airport in 2 hours. Airport company car dropped us off by the tarmac, turned around sharply and left. There were several dozen feet left on the gangway. Isn't that odd? And why would it be an unknown number if she had just called them? And now there's suddenly a spot when their mom is in danger, probably being threatened by somebody? And why'd they go and get her mom? Especially if they wanted the three of them reunited, why have her go home? If they wanted to use someone to hang something over her, anyone here could have worked. To try and take Leah would have been risky, but grabbing Millie or Sandra? Because Sandra doesn't know about her powers yet. Although Millie has some knowledge of things, she doesn't know how to fix anything right now. So those two would have been way easier targets. Why have her leave? Unless the whole point was to unlock something in Vlad, and then they need to be separated now for a reason. I don't know. There were several dozen feet left on the gangway. The walls of my suitcase rattled against the rough concrete, hitting little stones now and again. I was running ahead. Leah was behind me, carrying 2 suitcases, his and Millie's. My sister was carrying the cat carrier. It's a good thing they allowed us to take the baggage and not Nosferatu on board. Strange, but good. We wouldn't have made it otherwise. Still, I don't understand why we have to rush out like this. It was just a call. Mom said it herself. It's fine. Come on now. We abandoned Sandra and Lincoln without even saying goodbye properly. Okay, now that was fucked up. I kept talking as I kept running for the plane silently. A man walked down the airway towards us. He was wearing a uniform, but different from the other airport workers. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take your baggage. Took my and Millie's suitcases and carried them upstairs. My sister and I followed him. Why is he what kind of plane is this? Is this a private plane? Leo got on the first step as well, but then stopped, eyeing the plane suspiciously. Excuse me, mister. Is this a private flight? The man turned around and flashed a big smile to us. Yes, of course. Everything is packed in the public flights, and luckily we had a couple of vacant seats. On a private flight? No. That's not how airports work. A couple of vacant seats? Like a car that can just give a free ride. Why not? The flight service told us that you were seeking an opportunity to fly urgently. And? Y'all don't give a shit. Airports worth their money. It's not a big deal for us. The man got to the top of the stairs and put the suitcases down. Then he waved his hand gallantly, inviting me and Millie inside. Turned to Leah, who was standing downstairs thinking. Are you coming? Are you stupid? You know, why am I even asking? That's all I've been saying. This bitch is dumb as hell. Not even like a second. Not even like a second. It's like the game needs to choose. Is she smart to pick up on little hints and cues of something that's wrong with her mom? Or is she dumb as hell and she can't pick up on hints and cues that something is seriously wrong with the situation? Pick one. Pick one. Like, you can't go back and forth. Either she's smart or she's not. I'm determined to think that she's not. And anytime they give her a smart line, that's just a game trying to throw her a fucking bone. Suddenly, several men wearing the airport security uniform showed up from somewhere. They approached Leo. One of them put a hand on his shoulder and said something in a strict voice, pointing out his suitcase and the cat carrier. What's going on? It's alright, give us a minute. We'll sort it out. I kept talking about something and a vague feeling of worry came over me. Just now? What do they want from him? The men took Leo to the side, still arguing. I don't like it. I'm going to them. I hope everything is fine. Excuse me, gentlemen, can you be faster? This sounds brave. Okay. I started ascending decisively, intent to figure out what the issue was. But the steward slid in front of me, blocking my path. Miss, trust me, you shouldn't argue with airport security. If you interfere, it'll only make it longer. I'm sure everything is about to clear up. One of the guards raised his head and almost burned a hole through me with his suspicious look. And the steward noticed it. He scurried. Miss, please, step inside. We shouldn't eye them like this. They don't like it. We don't need them to check on you as well. But we won't fly without Leo. Yes. I'm not saying anything about flying. Just go inside until the matter is settled. Oh, why? And if it's not, we're not holding anyone here. He smiled. But you're forcing me to get on the plane anyway. So yeah, you are holding me here. I assure you, no one is flying you out by force. Moreover, right in front. Like, why would you even say that? Right in front of security. Oh, that security don't look like they belong here. Clueless, I looked at Leo. Our eyes met and he waved his hand confidently. Millie and I walked inside, still dotting and looking back. I never seen anything like the inside except for the movies. Expensive workmanship, wide armchairs, a coffee table with beverages and fruit. Whoa, it's not a plane, it's a palace. The steward smiled contentedly. Please sit down, miss. He sat us down in the armchairs and started listing the beverages. I couldn't focus on his words as my heart was sinking. It was taking so long. I wanted to see what's going on with Leo. Well, if you were gonna think that, then why the fuck did you go in the plane in the first place? I got up heading to the exit, but then I felt gentle swaying under my feet. The plane started moving. What's going on? Why are we moving? The steward took my hand. Sit down, miss. It's not recommended standing up while the plane is taking off. But what takeoff? Are you out of your mind? We were told we're not flying without Leo. The plane picked up speed and took off. I wobbled, barely managing to stay up. The steward held my elbow, trying to get me to sit down, but I wouldn't obey. Melody, did they just abduct us? Yeah. Come on, who says anything about abduction? We just couldn't wait for so long. The owner ordered us to take off. What owner? The owner of this plane. Oh, here he is. The lacquered door at the end of the cabin moved aside and a dark silhouette appeared behind it. Okay. They asked for that, though. Like, there were like a million other ways they could have gone about getting, oh my god, getting home in time safely. Everything about that situation screamed no. Number one being it coming from an unknown number. Somebody calling them back. That was number one. Okay? God. Suddenly all types of like security restrictions have been waived and all kind of shit. Then they holding your friend outside and talking about the security guard don't like you looking at them. Oh, fucking well? Like, what the hell? The way they made it sound like there was some sort of creature. I'm just saying. Oh, well. Well, they're captured now. I mean, so now they gotta go along with whatever the hell they got going on. And they got nobody to blame but themselves, so. I mean. Because now they have literally no one here who is competent. And if it's up to these two, they in fucking trouble. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Alright, okay. I'm so glad we didn't have to go to the past, but unfortunately we have the paintings with us, so we're gonna have to go soon. Not looking forward to it, but I mean, it's like I want to find out what happens. I just think they just have unnecessary drama in the past. I'm just like, come on. It's like unnecessary bull crap. Like, I just, oh, this person is evil, and this person is evil too, and you have zero control over any of them. Like, alright, thank you. I don't know. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have a headache. I'm sorry. I'm yelling at these people. So number 44. Is it like an experiment? Is it like the 44th thing? He always has a black dog. Have we seen a black dog anywhere? I don't think so. Only black dog I can think about, like Shadow of Saint 4, but like definitely not from this story. The stranger could be the one who's on this plane with us. You think it's somebody new or somebody, or like maybe Noe? I think it's somebody new though. I feel like we've done most of the stuff that we're going to do with Noe. I feel like that was his big major plan. Like, that of season 1, like, that was his big play. I doubt he would have another one this quick. And besides, there was that look that he gave us at the end. It was like a strange glance for us, telling Vlad to save his life. I think eventually he might end up helping us. He'll still be an antagonist for a while, though, I think. But I think eventually he might change his tune. But so were the killings that Mihai did, were they not connected to what Noe did? Now I'm starting to wonder if those two things were connected at all. Because, like, what was the purpose of those killings? Like, they killed Gradish. And it was all kind of make Vlad look like the bad guy. It's like, in ways they seem like they're connected, but not fully, not enough. You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to wonder if these are two different entities working all at the same time. Which is cool for an overarching story. I don't know. Anyway, let me go ahead and end this part right here. Oh, I think they said it was 1 episode. Let me just check just to be safe. This is hilarious. When running away from danger, be certain you're not running toward a bigger one. Definitely some knowledge that somebody should lay down on her dumb ass a long time ago. It's too late now. She done walked right into a stupid situation. I'm not gonna get over this for a long time. I'm not gonna get over it. She has a ways to go character development wise for me. And it's such a shame. So I felt like we were at a turning point. Like right before the season finale. I felt like we were on the cusp of something. Like she was finally putting pieces together, deciding that, you know, she was going to take some of this a little bit more seriously. At least that's what we thought that she was doing. And then she just, like, the first sign of, like, serious trouble, she just went back on all of that. And it's like any progress she made, character development wise, was just gone. That's just really disappointing. It's like, don't pretend to give her character development if there's not gonna be any. She's still the same ridiculous person that she was in episode 1. And that's a problem. It's season 2. Like, how long do we have to wait for any character development at all? Real character development, okay? Oh, but in other case, I'm doing a little bit better with choosing more bravery options. Definitely want to keep those balanced. That gemstone came in pretty handy for healing Leah. So at least, hopefully, wherever we left him, hopefully he's in a better place than he would have been. He's in a better place than he would have been to take care of himself, because now he's fully healed. And we didn't get the gemstone or the spindle back. I would have preferred if we'd had them. But being in this situation, they probably would have just lost them anyway. They probably, whoever this is, probably would have snatched them from him anyway. Unfortunately, yeah, I would have preferred if Leo had been with us. But yeah, because there's still a lot about Leo's character, about what he has going on in his life right now. That there's some secrets that we haven't uncovered there. And so I was hoping that if he went with them, and we could spend some time on Leo's character and kind of developing that, while we've now mostly fully uncovered, at least to an extent, what's going on with Vlad presently. Yeah, I would have liked to, because we still know that Leo came here for a reason, and he was interacting with me for a reason as well. Like, he has something going on with business or something like that, that they still haven't touched on yet. So I was hoping that we would have some time to figure that out. I assume they'll get to that eventually. But I don't know. I don't know where they're going, but I mean, it's still the early part of the season, so we'll see what they set up. Yeah. Overall, the story is still pretty cool. I just have a problem with listening to the main character talk, but unfortunately, that's all the time because she's the main character. So I'm just annoyed half the time. More than half the time. Just listening to her thoughts and her talking, because she's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm done. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and show the like button, some love, subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye!